Happy New Year, everybody. First weathercast of 2023 coming your way. This is Weather Overtime. If you've never joined us before, this is our opportunity to let you know what's going on with the weather in a more expanded format. Usually with the weathercast on TV, we get about 2.5 to 3 minutes. This one, we try to take a little bit of extra time to let you know what's going on and why. And we're going to be needing that time frame, so we're going to go ahead and skip into our usual amounts of explanatory stuff and leave some of our usual stuff behind. But please remember that if you do have weather pictures, we need them. Started to see a little bit more of the bottom of the barrel, so we could use a lot more pictures. So please send them in to us at pictures@wdef.com or on facebook.com/WDEFnews12. Here's something again for today. We are behind on rainfall. We didn't get anything for today, and we should have gotten at least a little bit of rainfall by now. That's normal, but we're not getting it at this point in time. This is what's really interesting. High temperature today of 69. That ties a record high that hasn't been broken since 1880 for the Chattanooga area. So very much on the mild side out there. Some 18 degrees above normal for this time of the year, and staying above normal for the next few days until we get toward Thursday as dry air makes its way in and temperatures drop into the lower to mid 50s. In between here and there, we've got the possibility of thunderstorms, some of them strong to severe, especially as we go toward Tuesday. We'll explain that coming up in just a little bit. Thunderstorms, and plenty of them, all the way back to our west. Got, again, a lot of activity going on from Nashville, south of Jefferson City, Missouri, all the way back into around Arkansas, the Mississippi River Valley, and all the way down into portions of Louisiana for tonight. That's the worst of the worst activity. All we have is basically just showers, although we did get some thunderstorms forming relatively near us back up around Nashville. Outside of a few light sprinkles taking place, we don't have a lot as of recording time by about 7 p.m. Eastern on our Weatherblog tonight. Numerous tornado and flood watches in effect back across the portions of about 6 to 7 states, and that's where the bulk of the activity is going to be for tonight. Back to the west of the Mississippi River, we're not seeing anything at this point in time in the way of watches or warnings. We do have a wind advisory in effect, and that does include the area for, again, southeastern Monroe County in the News 12 viewing area. So if you're planning on traveling anywhere in this strip between Tennessee and North Carolina from tonight into tomorrow at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to be seeing some very breezy winds out there, 50 to 55 miles per hour in parts of the upper elevations. So please use caution in the mountain passes. We're going to be seeing some pretty choppy conditions out there. So if you're traveling west or east, the winds coming in from out of the south are going to do a very good job of making things very choppy out there. So firm hand on the steering wheel, paying attention to what's going on down the roadway would be a very good idea. Our latest storm system is on the way through. This one, again, giving a lot of energy as it makes its way from the Rockies out of the Plain States, and it'll be swinging on through our area for later on. We have another storm system poised and ready to go, riding in off what is called the Pineapple Express. We do have a series of storm systems going on back to the west of us, and that push of moisture you're seeing that is coming in to the west coast states, that is doing a very good job of helping to replenish the moisture supply out there. Unfortunately, it's making travel a bit of a slowdown, especially in the higher elevations between Portland, San Francisco, northern portions of California, and back into southwestern Oregon. So something to think about there. And we've got numerous more storm systems on the way, riding that jet stream coming in from the Pacific. We'll be seeing more storm systems on a regular basis over the next several days, possibly the next couple of weeks, depending on how this goes. Running the numbers into tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, speckles of rain showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. By lunchtime, we start to see the first line forming back to our west. Very mild temperatures tomorrow, near 70 degrees. Most of what we should see in the first round of thunderstorms coming through by about the time that we hit rush hour and the time the kids get out of school for those who are back in school again. Most of that line moves east of us as we go toward tomorrow evening, but as that plows off to the east, another fractured line comes in from the west. So for early Wednesday morning, could be, again, the potential of some more thunderstorms, maybe with heavy rainfall. Now, the good news is that once the initial line goes through, that rainfall can cool off the lower atmosphere. That could be a blessing for us, because if that takes kind of the punch out of the atmosphere, some of the oomph of the energy, we might not see too much of a major problem overnight Tuesday into Wednesday as this storm system is coming through. There is still that potential, though, of seeing severe weather. It's still, again, about 24 to 36 hours in advance, and we'll know a lot more about the timing specifically as we go toward tomorrow. So keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll keep you updated on that. Toward Wednesday morning, kids back to school, rush hour, wet roadways, some patchy fog possible, but otherwise looking at clearing skies coming on through, and it should be quiet up until the weekend. So what are we looking at specifically? As of right now, the Storm Prediction Center has placed all of the News 12 viewing area in a slight risk category for severe weather. Now, again, we'll explain more about what that means coming up in just a little bit. The worst activity is going to be down to our south with an enhanced threat. That will be the worst of the worst from Alabama down through Mississippi and into portions of southern areas of Mississippi. That'll be the worst tornadoes, the worst winds, the worst heavy rainfall right along the Gulf Coast. So again, we'll be expecting more of that activity there, but we still need to be watching what goes on here because of that potential. The tornado threat is lower than what we will see down south of us, but it still means we need to pay attention to the forecast. We cannot go around tomorrow thinking that it won't happen to us. We need to be very careful of this. We also need to watch out tomorrow afternoon and evening for the potential of those damaging winds and the potential of heavy rainfall. That could be a major problem across the area depending on how this situation shapes up. So this is why you need to tune to News 12 to figure out more. Now, the tornado threat, the good news on this is, again, the low-end colors seen right here across much of the area. We see a little bit more of a threat here south of Jackson, around Corinth, and then moving our direction as it gets into around very late Tuesday. Now, does this guarantee tornadoes? No, it doesn't, but it does show, again, a little bit of an uplift, mostly with the topography of the area, possibly causing a little bit more in the way of irritated atmosphere and maybe developing more storms, and then that goes away toward Wednesday morning. Hail could also be a threat as we get into Tuesday. The worst possible hail will be back mainly to our west, and that'll be by about this time tomorrow. We may see a little bit taking place here, but the worst of the activity where it comes to hail should be south of us. Birmingham, Montgomery, south of Atlanta, and Macon down toward the Gulf Coast, and then leaving the area and dissipating. And just in the way of overall energy, it looks like most of the activity for now is going to be going well to our south, but it's going to be close enough to our area that we need to watch what's happening. So for tomorrow, showers possible, maybe a rumble of thunder early and some fog, and then through the rest of tomorrow, mostly cloudy with scattered possibilities of rain and thunder, especially in the afternoon and evening, and that's where we also see the potential of the worst severe weather coming on through. This is going to be a problem again tomorrow as all that rainfall comes down on pretty much already saturated soil, so we could see 1.5 inches to nearly 2 inches in some locations, possibly a little bit more, especially in areas east of Chattanooga, right around the area of the Carolinas, and back into southern Virginia. That's where we could see even more rainfall, and that could be a bit of a problem there for driving, especially as that runoff gathers in some of the ditches, creeks, and streams. Again, the threat for the severe weather is limited for Tuesday into early Wednesday. Then we cool off, temperatures getting a little bit closer to normal, including the possibility of some frost as we head toward Thursday into Friday, and then another chance of rain coming up this weekend. Doesn't look like much, just some scattered showers, and that should do it for now. Threat for tonight, again, west of us. Threat as we go into around tomorrow will be for all of the News 12 viewing area, so we'll be watching that. It's not quite as much as down south of us, but we will see that potential coming on through. Remember, this is a slight risk category. It's not a major outbreak, but it is something that we need to pay attention to. When you start getting into around the brown, red, and purple colors, that's where we start seeing major threats of tornadoes. We don't have a great deal of it for right now. Storm Prediction Center reminding you to be aware of what's going on, and above all, please remember to be prepared. Get your weather radio programmed, ready to go. Have multiple ways of getting warnings. And again, keep it tuned to WDEF.com/weather for more information. You'll find out more on our social media pages as well. Details to follow. Again, about the updates as soon as we get them, and make certain you download our app. That'll help you to stay informed as well. Multiple sources of information is going to be the best thing you can possibly do. Changeable situation. Again, keep it tuned to News 12 for the latest on what's going on. Going to have an update with Chip Chapman bright and early Tuesday morning starting at 5 a.m. Thanks for joining us on Weather Overtime.